Jeffrey. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Did you have a good week?
Yeah, it was alright.
Okay. Okay, well we're going to talk about that some. But I know at the end of last session, I had described to you what is called rational emotive behavioral therapy, or REBT. And I told you there was a whole kind of line of letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, that I wanted to show you today in terms of using that to help you reach some of the goals that we discussed. Now, we discussed a long-term goal of really working on overall self-esteem, but in a way that you could feel less frustrated at school and feel more confident about working with other classmates and working towards making friends and feeling comfortable with some of the other kids in class, or even making friends. Does that sound about right? Is that what you remember from last week?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. A big part of that is going to be to help you effectively manage some of the emotions that you and your mom talked about a little bit, some of that anger and frustration that arises, especially when you're at school. Okay? Okay. So today, right off the bat, I'm going to explain to you this ABCDEF model, okay? Mm-hmm. That's part of REBT. And how it's going to help you identify the things that you're feeling and identify the thoughts that you're thinking and beliefs that you have about yourself and about your world, and how we can kind of look at all of those things in a set order that'll help bring about some solutions for you, I think. Okay? Okay. And I'm excited about this because you are such a bright kid, and I know that you're in GT classes, and so I thought that you might kind of get into this too, especially in the math and science part of you. I thought this might be something that you might enjoy. Okay? So the A is stands for the activating event. The activating event is the activating event is any circumstance, anything that comes up. You can probably think of one. We're going to go through this in a little bit with specific examples. But something that happened, say, at school.
Something that bothered me.
That bothered you.
Oh, okay.
That's right. And then the B is beliefs. And this is about the thoughts and the beliefs that you believe about yourself and about others. I know you said something to me last week about you've never been good or particularly interested in making friends, and that's just how you've always been. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
So that's something we're going to call a belief, okay?
Okay.
Then the C is stands for consequence, and this is not consequences like punishment and things like that you may hear from parents or teachers. This is your consequences, how you feel, or how you act, what you decide to do, okay, in reaction to the event and your beliefs. The D is for disputing, and in that I have underneath the irrational beliefs. So at that point, you're going to take a look, and I'm going to help you at some of your beliefs and determine if it's what we call rational or irrational, okay?
Okay.
The E is for effective, and this is where new beliefs are developed, okay? So after we kind of talk about the beliefs as rational or irrational, then you're going to work with me, and we're going to talk about maybe how we can change those or shape those, okay? Maybe with a different sort of belief that you feel like you can live with or like better. And then does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Am I overwhelming you, or are you following me?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. And then the last piece is the F, and that's feeling. And so what comes out of all of this, we're hoping the goal is a new feeling.
Like a better one.
Like a better one, exactly. So when we were talking about when something happens that bothers you at school, the A, and it ends up with feeling frustrated or angry, how would it be if we could come up with feeling something else? Maybe something more positive.
Pretty good, yeah.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I know that this is something you can do, and I'm really excited to start working on it with you.
Oh, is it
So-
what I did the other day at school? My mom said she called you and told you what I did, what happened at school the other day.
Yeah.
She said I had to talk to you about it.
She did call me, and I was looking forward to you coming in, and I'd like to hear it from you. I'd like to
Okay.
hear what happened, okay?
So it was in my GT class, and we were like designing cars of the future together, and I designed like a perfect model, like it was awesome, and all the kids liked what I had come up with, but then this freaking jerk just came over and erases the headlights on my car or whatever, and I got upset and I just ripped up the model and I just threw the pieces at the class and I just went and sat by myself. I was
Okay.
like, screw you guys.
Okay. So let me make sure I understand. So the project was to design a car from the future, or of future,
Yeah.
and you feel like you did a pretty good, or a very good
Yeah.
job of the car, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you got upset and ripped up the picture, and became very frustrated when someone in the group erased the headlights. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I was pissed off.
Okay. So let me ask you, Jeffrey, so like on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a little mad but not really bothered too much by it, and then 10 being about as angry as you can remember ever being. About how angry were you?
Probably like a 9. It would have been 10, but I didn't hit anybody, so I'd say probably a 9.
Okay. It sounds like you were very angry.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Can you tell me specifically what it was that the other students didn't like about the work you had done on the car?
Well, they didn't say anything at the time, but I know they didn't like them because they wouldn't have like raised them if they did like them. So.
Okay, sure. But did the students actually say anything about not liking it? Did they say that they didn't like the car that you designed?
Well, no, they didn't actually say that, but this one guy did erase my headlights, and it was either because he didn't like them, or I think it was because he just didn't like me, probably.
Okay. Did he say that he didn't like you?
No, but I just know.
Okay, well, I want to let you know that teenagers in general, and being 13, you're now a teenager, and it's really common for kids your age to overgeneralize. Do you know what that means? It means to make assumptions, like when you felt angry about him ripping up the design, to kind of jump to that conclusion that he must not like you.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And would you say that there was enough evidence of that student saying he didn't like you, or saying that he didn't like your headlights? When you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, he didn't actually say he didn't like me, so, yeah,
He didn't.
I guess so, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Because he didn't actually say he didn't like me.
Okay. So can you agree that it's an assumption, or you're assuming that the students, or that particular student, is feeling that he didn't like you or didn't like the work that you did. Even though he didn't actually say that, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, so that would be an assumption, I guess, yeah.
Okay, that's right. So do you see how jumping to conclusions or assuming things can sometimes lead to how you feel?
Yeah, I guess you're right about that.
Okay. Well, don't give me all the credit for that, making those connections, because you just did a lot of what I just described to you. You made those connections. You were able to identify and go back and think about the events, identify which part was a belief or a thought on your part, and then identify maybe what was actually true, okay?
Okay.
So I want to do an activity with you called pop bottle or water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you get mad, I've heard you kind of describe it, and when we talked to your mom in the first session, that you feel like maybe sometimes you just kind of explode all over anyone and everything in your path.
Yeah, it just like builds up and just like happens all of a sudden.
Okay.
I get frustrated.
Alright, so you're just getting super frustrated throughout the day at school, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like this bottle of pop, right? Here, open the bottle.
No way, it'll just explode everywhere, make a huge mess. That's crazy.
You're right, it will.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it would make a huge mess, and you wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want that on you, correct?
Get all over my big pants.
Exactly. Well, so it's kind of like that. I'm wondering if you see that connection. It's kind of like that as things build up in you, you get frustrated, you get kind of all shook up like the soda, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then like the soda, you're bound to explode, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between this and between this bottle of water?
I guess like the water doesn't explode when you open it, even if you shake it.
You don't think so, huh? That we shake it up, and if you opened it, what would happen?
It would be fine. Yeah.
Right. This one's clear, not cloudy. That's another way to look at it. So thinking if we want to stop your angry explosions, we need to get you so that you're clear thinking, like the water, rather than cloudy thinking, or it's not exactly cloudy, but you can't see through it as well, like the pop, right, or the soda. Would you like to work on that? Work on being able to, even if you get shook up a little bit from the outside, not maybe being able to stay clear and not exploding?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's try it. Probably be a lot happier as a water bottle than a soda bottle.
I bet you would.